My name is Ken Link, and my topic was fast food addiction. Did you ever wonder if fast food is addictive? Have you noticed that more and more people eat fast food every day without any concern to the health factors involved? I decided to find out more information on fast food addictions and determine whether it really is possible to become addicted to fast food. Oh, and I figured it would be appropriate to show me eating fast food in the background throughout this whole video. First off, I decided to watch the movie Super Size Me, a documentary in which Morgan Spurlock decides to only eat McDonald's fast food for 30 days in a row for every meal. I thought this movie would be a good source for information, since I'd be able to see firsthand the effects of all the fast food that he eats. Even though he seems to exaggerate the effects by eating fast food for every meal, which most people don't do, I still feel like it's a good source for information. What I noticed, besides the obvious gain in body fat and cholesterol, was that at one point he mentioned how he feels depressed. He says, quote, "I don't feel good today. Not that I feel sick, but I just feel really depressed, for no reason. Things are going great. I've had a good day." And then after he eats McDonald's, he instantly feels happy and satisfied again. Later on, he also mentions how he potentially becomes addicted. He says, quote, "It's not real hard eating this food all the time. Just because it tastes good, it makes you feel good. I really noticed I'll eat some, and just a little while later, I'll be hungry again, and I'll want more. If you just looked at the effects of fast food on Morgan in the movie, it's easy to say that fast food is addictive, along with being outright unhealthy. Yet, I thought Morgan's tests were pretty abnormal, considering most people don't eat McDonald's 3 times a day every day of the week. So to find more conclusive evidence, I needed to look into the chemical effects fast food has on our body. I decided to see what the internet has to say about fast food addictions. Using my favorite search engine, I looked up fast food addiction and found some interesting results. The first site I found seemed fairly credible, since it was very professional looking and it was by a company that provides health insurance, financial protection, and childcare. In one of their articles, titled "Is Junk Food Addictive?", Dr. Martin Yeomans found that high-fat foods stimulate pleasure chemicals in the brain, which actually increases the urge to consume more of that food. Which pretty much means all that fatty food you eat for breakfast isn't just making you fat, it's making you want more of them. Also in the same article, Dr. Sarah Leibowitz, who studies the effects of fatty foods in rats, found that the exposure to fatty foods might reconfigure the hormonal system to want more fat. According to her studies, rats that have been on a high-fat diet became more resistant to leptin, which is a hormone that stops the craving to eat. Also, levels of ghrelin increased, which is a brain peptide that stimulates eating and slows down energy usage. Basically, this means that not only are you gaining weight off of the food you eat, and not only is it making you want more of it, but it's also making you want to eat more in general, along with slowing down your energy usage. But that's not all. Knowing that there is a ton of sugar in McDonald's food, Kathleen DeMasons decided to look into addictions relating to sugar consumption, and now strongly believes that sugar is addictive. She says, quote, "Sugar evokes a brain chemical called beta-endorphin, the same chemical affected by morphine and heroin. The sugar creates a wonderful feeling of euphoria and well-being, but when it wears off, you feel edgy, irritable, and cranky, which is actual withdrawal. If you use the sugar again, it relieves the symptoms, so you get caught in a cycle of needing it." What's interesting about this quote is the fact that a heroin addict sees the same effects as what she described. According to another article I found online, Dr. John Hobel was testing the reaction rats had to high amounts of sugar in their diet, and I thought the results were pretty interesting. He found that when rats are taken off of a diet consisting of 25% sugar. They fall into a state of anxiety with symptoms consisting of chattering teeth and the shakes, the same symptoms of those seen in people withdrawing from nicotine or morphine. Dr. Hobel also said he believed, quote, high-fat foods stimulate opioids or pleasure chemicals in the brain, which is similar to Dr. Martin Yeoman's conclusion. To continue my research, I looked around for some official health journals. In one journal, titled Burgers on the Brain, Can You Really Get Addicted to Fast Food?, the evidence is piling up and the lawyers are rubbing their hands, I found a lot of interesting information. According to the article, quote, the difference between a fast food meal and a home-cooked one is the sheer quantity of calories and fat it delivers in one go. The U.S. Department of Agriculture's recommended daily intake for a normal adult male is 2,800 kilocalories and a maximum of 93 grams of fat. A meal at a fast food outlet, burger, fries, drink, dessert, can almost deliver all of that in one single sitting. Biologists are just now starting to realize that a binge of these proportions can trigger physiological changes which could possibly mute the hormonal signals that normally tell you to put down the fork. Also, according to the article, quote, in the past decade, researchers have discovered myriad hormones that play a role in regulating appetite. Under normal conditions, these hormones control eating and help maintain a stable body weight. Leptin, for example, is continuously secreted by fat cells, and its level in the bloodstream indicates the status of the body's fat reserves. This signal is read by the hypothalamus, the brain region that coordinates eating behavior, and taken as a guideline for keeping reserves stable. The problem is, people who gain weight develop resistance to leptin's power. In other words, when you eat at a fast food restaurant, you can easily consume the recommended intake of calories and fat in just one meal, which can't be healthy. Researchers are also noticing that when you consume that many calories and fat, it can change your hormonal signals to stop responding to the signals which tell you to stop eating, which will in turn make you want to eat more. Also, researchers found that leptin is used to determine the level of fat in the body, and people who are overweight begin to develop a resistance to leptin, which means the brain loses its ability to respond to changing levels of fat in the body, which in turn can make you gain more weight. So, after looking through all this evidence, my answer to the question, is fast food addictive, is definitely yes. Not only is it unhealthy for you, but it can lower your metabolism, make you want to eat more food, make you feel depressed when you're not eating it, and physically change your body to want more of that food. One thing I noticed though, is that there's already some people that realize this, and it seems like they take steps to avoid becoming addicted to such food. So this is my question to the class. Do you think fast food addiction is an important issue in society?